Hello everyone, my name is Chih-Heng. I'm from National Quemoy University, Taiwan. In my video, I will teach you how to use mininet and some mininet extensions, including DockerNet, mininet Wi-Fi, P4 switch. This is my web page. It will simply describe what I am. This is my SDN website. In this website, you can find some lab related to mininet Wi-Fi, P4, container net, and some useful network resources. This is my first time to record a video in English. English is not my mother language, so if you don't understand my English, you can leave me a message or send me an email. I will try my best to answer your questions. Now I will start to talk about what is mininet. Mininet, you can use it to create a virtual network. It's running a real kernel, and in this environment, you can run real applications, and you can create your own designed network topologies and set some network parameters. For example, for link, you can set the network bandwidth, delay, loss rate, and then you can do some performance evaluations. You can measure the throughput, end-to-end delay, jitters. Also, in some mininet extensions, you can create a Docker host. In Docker Hub, you can download many useful Dockers. For example, if you can download the HTTP servers, then in your environment, you will have a HTTP server or SQL server or memory cache server or SSH server. So in those kind of environments, you can do many things. For example, you can try to do some work related to security. For example, you can try to crack the password for SSH servers. It's fun and may be useful for your research. Now, I will simply describe what mininet, the main technology used in mininet. The main technology used in mininet is called network namespace. In mininet, you can create different network namespace. In these features, you can see we can create two network namespace. The first one is network namespace 1. In network namespace 2, in each namespace, you can create a network interface card that can have same name. Why? Because it's the network interface card are located in different different network namespace. In the root namespace, you can create a software switch. Then you can using the we call the virtual pair, and can connect the network namespace to root namespace. Then with these settings, network namespace 1 can communicate with network namespace 2. So you can think this is a host, real host 1. This is a real host 2. So you can do many things. How to use mininet? Actually, you can simply type mn. By the way, now actually I have prepared a virtual machine for you. In my virtual machines, I have already installed a mininet Wi-Fi, container net, and the P4. If you want to install by yourself, you can try, and you can find the related information in the GitHub, but it really takes time to install all the things. So if you want to start quickly, I suggest you can download my virtual machines. You can download the virtual machine from these two websites. Uh, if also also I have already include I have also installed some useful tools in my virtual machines. In my later course, I will show how to use them. Okay, how to use mn. Mn is for mininet command. Basically, if you use mn, you can create a very simple topology. The topology is like this. In this topology, it includes one switch, but this switch is open flow switch. What is open flow? What is open V switch? It means that this switch that supports open flow protocol. If there is a controller here, the controller can talk to the open V switch, or OVS for short. Then you can set the rules in the open V switch. Then when there is a packet comes, and the packet will follow the rules. For example, if this is a port 1, this is a port 2. If you set the rules, you can say from packet from port 1, then switch will forward to port 2. Another rule is from port 2, then send it to port 1. So when H1 send a packet to switch, you will follow the first rule, and then forward this packet to port 2. Then if H2 reply the packet to H1, and when this packet goes through S1, you will follow the rule 2. Import is port 2, then switch will forward the packet to port 1. So H1 will get a packet, the communication, then H1 can finish these communications. By the way, in this network topology, I will have some information to tell you. In the default settings, if you don't say anything, the node will use the default settings. For example, the first node, the IP address will be 10.0.0.1. The second will be 10.0.0.2. And the mask will be 255.255 to 255.0. It means there are 24 bits for one values, and in each host it has its own network interface. The network interface for H1, the first one will be H1-ETH0. If this node has the second network interface, then the second interface will called H1-ETH1. If there are third network interface, then it will be H1-ETH2. But if you see clearly for S1, you will see the interface card name start from 1. So the first network interface will be S1-ETH1. The second will be S1-ETH2. That's the difference. For host, the network interface card's name starts from 0, but for switch, it starts from 1. That's the difference. You need to know this. In mininet, actually it has some design some basic network topology. For example, this is called single topology because it has single switch. Then it has two hosts. It has other built-in topology. For example, this is called the linear topology. If you set the parameter, for example, linear 2, 2 means you want to have two switch, and each switch connect to one host. It also has three topologies. For example, if you set the depth to 2, it means the depth that's 1 and the 2, and the fan out means the left switch has the fan out 2 hosts. This switch also have fan out 2 switches. So change the parameters, you can have some network topologies. You don't need to describe by yourself. You just need to set the parameters. If you want to design your network topology, there are some tools I will show later in the course. It's called the mini editor. You can draw your own network topologies. Here I just show you the built-in network topologies. So review it. It's called single topology. This is called the linear topologies, and this is called the tree topologies. Now I will show how to use it. This is my virtual machines. In this virtual machines, I have created one user count. The user count, the username is called user. Password is user. For super user, root. The password for the virtual machine is Ubuntu. So if you want to change from normal user to super user, you can type su command, then type Ubuntu. Then you will change to root. If you want to run the mininet, you need to the root privileges. So here, we can use mn to create a very simple network topology. That is this network topology. If you don't set any parameters, you will use default setting. You will create a topology like this. So we can try. Here you can see it, in this network topology, it has created two hosts, H1, H2, and one switch, and adding a link H1 to S1, H2 to S1. Also, in the default settings, it will create actually there is a controller here, and the controller is connected to the switch. Actually, if you don't say anything, you will use open flow reference controllers. So in this network topology, when there is in the beginning, there is no rule in this switch. Actually, you can use SSH, OVS, or FCTL dump flows as one. Or FCTL. Actually, you can see there is no rules in S1. In Open vSwitches, the rules is called flow. So if you want to dump the rules, you should use dump flows. So in here, no rules in it. If you try to make H1 pin H2, for example, make H1 pin H2. After these operations, then you can see the rules. I will explain the rules in the later course, but for current current lab, I don't explain it. I will leave it in a future lab. In mininet, actually, back to here, you can use the parameter -topo. Topo means topology, single two. You will create a similar the same network topology. So if you want to create a linear topology, you can type the linear 2. You will create a network topology like this, something like it. Okay. In mininet, which command you can use? You can simply type help. You will show the command that you can use. In the beginning, I will teach you the first command you should learn. The command is called the net. The net will show you the network topologies. Let me check back to these features. Here you can see in the net, you can see H1 ETH0 is this the network interface card for H1. And this interface card is connected to S1 ETH1. You will show here. And then H2 ETH0 here is connected to S1 ETH02. And the S1 ETH1 connect to H1 ETH0 here. S1 ETH2 connect to H2 ETH0. With this command, you can draw the network topologies. It's very important. If you want to do the network experiment, I suggest you should draw a pictures. And in these pictures, you can write down the corresponding parameters. It will make you more understand the network topology and the settings. That's the first very important command you should learn. The second command I suggest you should learn is called extern. You will create a terminal for H1 host. In each terminals, you can think you are running the command in an individual PC. For example, if you use extern H1, you will create a terminal for H1. In these terminals, you can run any real applications or real command. For example, if you want to check the IP address, here you can type ifconfig. So you can see the IP address, broadcast address, mask address. Also, you can use ARP-N. Okay, now we can try to pin H2. Now you can see there are ARP cache here. Okay. If you want to have more terminal for H1, you can use H1. For example, in these terminals, you can open the wireshark here. You can choose H1 ETH0 and the star capture packet. You can open the terminal for H2. Now I will start a very simple HTTP server. Actually, you can use Python -m. M means module. Simple HTTP server port 80. Then you will start very simple HTTP servers. Then back to H1 here. Actually, you can run real application. For example, browser. You can use Safari. But before, if you want to run, no Safari, sorry, it's called Firefox in Ubuntu. If you want to run the Firefox, you need to change back to normal user. So you use su-user. Then you change to user account, then you can use Firefox. In this, we can type 2022. This is the IP address for the simple HTTP server here. So you can see we have already connected to the server located at the H2 here. Also, in this wireshark window, you can see all the packets communicate from H1 to H2. So you can see that's the three-way handshake for TCP to set up the TCP connections. Then this is HTTP GET packet. You can see the GET host user agent and some informations here. Then you can start HTTP protocols. So it's very useful. So I think mininet is quite useful for you. No matter you want to do some research or if you want to know more about how protocol works, it's very useful tool for you to learn. Okay. Okay, I will show you some more important features. Now I will turn all things off. I will close this window first. Actually, in mininet, if you want to reset the IP address for H1, ETH0, actually you can use the command like this, H1 ETH0 and then 0. This is the network interface card name, and the 0 means to clear all the IP settings. So see here, everything are gone. No IP setting, no broadcast, and others are all cleared. So now if you want to reset the IP address, for example, if you want to use 192.168.1.1 and the mask will be /24 here, then you can see that's the IP address, that's the broadcast address, that's the mask. For example, for H2, you can use similar command. First, use this command to clear the IP settings. Then use this command to set the IP setting for H2. Then H1 can pin H2 now. The IP address has already changed. So in the mininet host, you can run real applications. You can run the Linux command to change the IP setting or change the routing or even change the MAC address. I will show them in the later course. I hope you can enjoy my lab. If you have any questions, you can send me an email or leave me the message. If I have time, I will try to answer you, because all the things are done by myself. There are many things that can be proved, but I will try. But all the things are done by myself. I will try my best to make my video more useful. That's it. Thank you.